Okay, what's going on, guys? This is Liam here, and it's very early in the morning. Okay, I'm just going out to get the light in my eyes. I'm wearing a hat and a jumper because it's freezing, but remember, cold is not a bad thing. We spoke about cold and the electron chain transport and how it will hasten things up for you. Only one component of it, not every component of it. Remember, there's all different components of it. That's why people are so insistent upon, I'll take PQQ for my mitochondria. But what you're doing is you're making one element of the electron chain transport system larger, and so there are theories that you could be interfering with the electron chain transfer system by supplementing just one aspect of this process. If you look at the research on it, it's not funded by people who sell PQQ. They're going to tell you that it's not that good, probably, but they're not certain, but probably. But if you look at the research that's funded by the people who do sell PQQ, they're going to tell you that it's awesome, you should definitely buy it, click below, sort of thing, right? So take that how you will. I'm much more of an advocate of doing things like DHA, where you can actually help the photoreceptors in your skin absorb. Okay, they can take in sunlight from your eyes and absorb it. Look how nice this is. Look at that, as if you wouldn't want to get up early in the morning for this. Absorb sunlight, turn into DC current in your body. Very cool. Charge your electrons, charge your ears. Okay, now let's go over a couple of things. If you've been doing this, you've been following this for a little while and your progress is slow, let's go over a couple of things that you can do. Unfortunately, there's still street lights that are pretty bright, actually. That's a bit of a shame, but we're going to go to a path where there aren't any. Let's go over a couple of things. So first of all, if you have any interference with your sleep, so if you have things like children, or you have shift work, or you have noisy neighbors, or you have a spouse that gets up at 3 a.m, or you have a spouse that gets home at 3 a.m, okay, if you have neck problems and you're waking up in pain, if you're just waking up at 3 a.m and you don't know why every night, you have a serious fucking problem. You need to sleep. You need to have consistent REM sleep, not NREM sleep. So if you're drinking coffee, if you're having dark chocolate, if you just can't quit the tea, if you want to transition from caffeine to tea, I'm getting really sick of hearing that. I'm getting really, really sick of hearing that shit. I can't quit the coffee, I can't quit the tea. Why do I still have tinnitus? I'm getting really, really, actually quite fucking sick of hearing that. I'm at my wit's end with it, okay? Now there are some people who have quit it and they're doing things perfectly. And so let's transition to those people again. So if you feel like, eating really well, you cut out all the carbs, you're taking all the supplements, let's go over a couple of things that can help, okay? What about Wi-Fi in your home? Are you living right next to somebody who's got smart meters in their home? Are you living next to a neighbor who's got smart meters right there? Are you living right next to a 5G, 4G tower? Are you sleeping with your computer or your laptop in your room? Is your person next door to you sleeping with a computer or laptop in your room? Are you not turning the breakers off at night time? Do you have electricity running all through your walls at night time? If you do, that's a problem. Have you tested your home for mold yet? Have you tested your workplace for mold? Have you tested your spouse, if your spouse has mold? Okay, so how you test your spouse for mold is the same as you. All you want to do is, that's just street lights. That really sucks. Have you tested your spouse for mold? Have you and by that, you can do a mold test, you can do muscle testing and things like that, but I think it's safe to just assume you have it. So start taking Spanish black radish, Fung DX, and also get the little cups, petri dishes, get 10 of them off Amazon, and test their workplace, and test where they spend the most time. Test your laundry, test your bedroom, test your bathroom, test your kitchen, test your workplace, test your parents' place. Do you visit your parents once a week? Visit your parents' place. Then it takes a one-time exposure for mold to grow. And if you're doing a ketogenic diet, or you're eating all meat or mostly meat or low carb, you're likely in ketosis. Mold feeds on ketones. This stuff needs to be addressed. Okay. What about things like fasting? Have you tried that yet? Remember Tracy's story. She was incredibly healthy for a year and nothing happened. Nothing happened. She followed a lot of things that I recommend, but not all the things. She didn't do anything with electricity. She didn't do anything with muscle release. She didn't do anything with she did meditation. She saw some natural healing doctors, whatever that means, okay? And you can listen to this story, look up Tracy's story on my YouTube channel. She saw some natural healing doctors, and apparently that just made her tinnitus worse, or her tinnitus was getting worse and they did nothing. We can't blame them for that. Okay, and what did you do? She followed my advice, got rid of the seasoning, salt. Okay, some people do well on salt, some people don't. So she got rid of the salt, did a 1-day dry fast, her tinnitus went away. Okay, so you know, she was getting rid of all the bullshit out of her diet. Her mitochondria was likely becoming fat adapted. So when she did the fast, bam, it worked straight away. Awesome. The other thing is it can take some time. Okay, if you've fucked your body for, let's say, 35 years, yeah, not much is going to happen in a couple of months. Okay, not much. And unfortunately, you know, if you go on my YouTube channel, you're just going to see the real good success stories. You're not going to see the stories where people like tried really hard for 6 months and then it finally started to go down. Okay, you're not going to see those stories. You're going to see stories that are like, wow, this is so cool, because those are like, you know, the people who want to send me the testimonials. Normally when people take 6-9 months to get rid of their tinnitus, they don't want to give me a story because they don't want to relive that shit. They want to completely forget about it and just imagine that it never happened in their life. You can see now it's getting a bit brighter. Okay, it's getting a bit sunnier outside. So let's go over a couple of things that we went over. No electricity at night time. Okay, cut the breakers off. Test for mold. Try a long-term fast. Okay, there are other things within Triumph Over Tinnitus 3 that are a bit complicated, and I can't just tell you to do it because you might F yourself up. So I'll leave those for Triumph Over Tinnitus 3. Remember, Triumph Over Tinnitus 3 Light is coming out. Remember the grounding. If my feet weren't covered in bandages, you know, for the lack of toes, if my feet weren't covered in those, I'd be walking barefoot. Once I got to the oval that we're going to, oh, went the wrong way. Back this way. Back down there. Another thing is sunlight. You might be sleeping. This is a really important, a very, very crucial part that not many people, the sensor lights are even coming on, that's how early it is. This is a very important part that not many people realize. You could even be sleeping 8 hours a night, but you might not be hitting autophagy. Are you still eating or drinking 4 or 5 hours before bed? If you are, cut that shit right out. Are you getting AM sunlight? If you're not, what's the point? You'll be sleeping, but you won't be hitting autophagy. Melatonin, which is responsible for so many processes, okay, inside the mitochondria, and is also responsible for autophagy and mitophagy inside the mitochondria, okay, is set in the AM light. Okay, get some paper clips and open up your eyes in the morning. Seriously. It's that serious. If you don't get the AM light, your sleep will be shit that night. Actually, you know what? That's a good phrase. If you don't get the AM light, your sleep will be shit that night. Seriously, it's that easy. So if you're doing shift work and you're getting home at this time, I mean, tinnitus is going to be the last of your worries. Look at the studies connected between shift work and Alzheimer's. It's like I don't know what the percentage is, so I pretend to even know, but it's like something X times likely more to get diagnosed with Alzheimer's or Parkinson's disease if you've done 5 to 10 years of shift work, which is pretty standard for some people. I've got a guy at the moment though who's doing shift work, and his results are amazing, but he is like perfect. Like, he does everything perfect besides the AM sunlight. Everything is perfect. So, you know, unless you've got no family to worry about, and you can be fucking flawless the whole time, like flawlessly do everything. You know, most people want to put in 50% of the work and get the results, and that's actually kind of possible. That does happen. Some people do a cold shower and their tinnitus goes down to 0. Like, that's amazing. Remember, we're still dealing with the mitochondria there, okay? I had, what other stories can I tell you? I've got so many people who do so many different things and get such varied results. You know, there will never be a study, ever. And this is what people are holding on to, is this whole idea of, I'm just going to wait until the study comes out and that medicine can heal tinnitus. I'm going to wait for the experts. What have the experts ever done for anybody? Seriously, what have they fixed? How are they going with cancer? Not very fucking good, I'd say. How are they going with leukemia? Not very fucking good. How are they going with Parkinson's? Not very fucking good. How are they going with tinnitus? Not very fucking good. How are they going with vision problems? Not very fucking good. What do they want to do? They want to cut you open or drug you to death. They want to, oh, this person's going to die. Let's prescribe them this. And then if they heal, naturally they heal and we can say it was the drugs that did it. And if they fucking die, then, well, we prolong their life. Even their life was shit because they got a whole new array of symptoms from the drugs we gave them. That's what I see. That's what I'm dealing with at the moment with my dad, whose kidneys are failing because of this stupid medicine his doctors put on for something unrelated, and he can't sue because they're protected. Now here's the crazy thing, if the doctors would have given him nutritional advice or told him to fast, okay, and let's say they put him on the medicine as well and his kidney started to fail, he could have then blamed it on the nutrition advice and fasting and could have sued them on that front. So if you're a drug dealer, if you're a doctor, if you're a drug dealer, you're protected by the law. Get fucked. Get absolutely fucked. I cannot believe it. Now we're doing a whole array of different things, such as feeding him kidney, and he's got to fix his diet. It's pretty fucking awful at the moment. And then we'll see how it goes with GFR. If you guys know what GFR means, it's a filtration test for the kidneys. Might be something you might be interested in getting done, is a GFR rating. You can take a whole bunch of different things to improve that. Darren Schmidt also talks about it. Anyway, so I hope you can hear me properly in this video. I took the headphones out because I filmed the whole video the other day, but the headphones were, I had them here and they were just rustling and cracking the whole time. It was awful. I couldn't hear anything. It's actually a lot darker than it looks. My camera is lighting it up. I don't know what that setting is called. But and the fake light here too is pretty awful. We'll get to the oval and then I'll end it there. What else can I talk about for the last minute that's been on my mind? So, all those things. Chiropractors. Go into your chiropractor, get your neck adjusted. That's always worth doing. Okay. I actually like chiropractors. Not that it shouldn't be like, oh well, everything that Liam likes is good and everything that Liam hates is bad. That's not true. Antidepressants. I'm not wholly against antidepressants. So if they help you sleep, then that's great. That is actually quite a good thing. So if you just can't sleep and you sleep 3 hours a night and somebody gives you a pill and it helps you sleep, that's great. But if it's something like amitriptyline, that's some hardcore shit. Okay? So, or no-dose, that's some hardcore shit. Oh no, not no-dose, sorry. What's it called? I forget. But amitriptyline is what I was on when I had the severe nerve pain. I just couldn't sleep, and it was just, I'd go 2 nights without sleeping, and I was just like, give me the drugs, like give them to me. And so I took them and then I could sleep, and that was great. But then, I'd have horrible symptoms like I would have urinary retention where I couldn't piss and I had to go to get catheterized. I had to get a catheter every 10 days for 2 months. Think about how that feels for a dude. Oh God, it's so painful getting that done. Like, just okay, well, like, and it's funny because they would, sometimes I'd have a woman and sometimes I'd have a man do it. This is, I'm at the field now. This is my favorite spot in my local area. And sometimes I have a woman or a man do it, and the woman would be like, she might be 20 years old and I'm 27. Well, she might be, 25, like a new doctor, and I'm 27. And she'd be like, do you want me to find a man to do it? I was like, no, just do it, just shove it in, I'll do it myself. Because it was so, if you guys don't know what it feels like to have urinary retention, you just need to pee so bad and it's in there. And what can actually happen is you can have a burst bladder. And that, I've never had that, but you can die from that, from an infection from that. So, it's just like, oh my God, get it in. It's quite funny actually. I had a guy do it once. The one time it was the worst time. I had a guy do it who was clearly flamboyantly gay, and I was confused because I thought he would, know his way. It's so bad, but know his way around the area, but no, he didn't know what he was doing. So I had to get like another guy to come in and do it, and it was like a whole group of 5 people trying to figure out how to put this hose down my, oh God, it was torture. And then I had to take antibiotics because they were like, yeah, you're bleeding from the dicks. So we have to give you antibiotics so you're getting an infection. And then I tried to put gentamicin in my arms. Get the fuck away with that horse shit. Gentamicin can cause serious ear damage, by the way. Like pretty serious ear damage. You can repair it from what I've seen, but it can cause a fucking lot of problems. Instant deafness is a symptom. I can't believe they're still prescribing that shit. So I had to yank it out of my fucking arm, basically. I'm like, get the fuck away, give me something else. They ended up giving me this butterfly shot, which was really weird, but it worked anyway. So, I haven't even gone over. If you watch my interview with Sean Baker, I'll put a link to that below. You can hear my story in a bit more detail with Sean Baker about how I got sick. I haven't even discussed any. It was 4 months of some of the worst reoccurring pain and problems and symptoms and issues and sleep problems and horrific stuff and side effects, and you have no idea how fucking bad it was. It was unbelievable. Just non-stop pain, problems, issues, symptoms, again and again and again and again, and useless doctors, fucking terrible doctors, doctors who didn't care, doctors who couldn't give a fuck about anything. So pissed off. Oh, I hate doctors. Not all of them, but they did save my life, don't forget that. I would be dead right now if it wasn't for doctors. That was without I might walk this way out of the wind if you can hear me. I would be dead without doctors. And also I'm glad they made those drugs, because imagine the pain I would be in without doctors. It would be horrific. But in terms of chronic long-term issues, fuck off. Useless. Give it to someone else. Send me to a chiropractor. I don't give a fuck about what you have to say. You are useless to me. You are dead to me. You have no help. Seriously, what are they going to do? Prescribe you fucking drugs and fuck you up even more? I cannot believe that doctors prescribe people with pretty bad tinnitus where they can still sleep. They give them antidepressants. Hello? Antidepressants will cause tinnitus. They'll exacerbate it. They'll prolong it. They'll prevent it from dissipating, okay? They will seriously turn into a chronic fucking problem. And then I gotta pick up the pieces. Just like those fucking vegan influencers. Just like, did you guys see? Guess what? John Venus is not... I called it. I called it about 6 months ago. I said, John Venus is not a vegan. And what does he do 3 days ago? He made a video saying he's not a vegan anymore. Guys, come on. Stop with the veganism. Look, there's still one guy, there was one guy who proved me wrong, and he silenced his tinnitus. I might get out of this wind. He silenced his tinnitus 100% on a vegan diet. But you know what he did again? He did everything fucking perfectly. Everything else I recommend, he did fucking flawlessly. So what do you want to do? Do you want to have a flawless, perfect lifestyle and be a vegan? Or do you want to put 80% effort in and eat meat? But this guy did it, and there is no disputing that I was wrong about saying you can't silence tinnitus. There's some weird shit going on over here. You can't, might avoid that. You can't silence tinnitus on a vegan diet. I was wrong. There's a guy who did it, so that's absolutely true. I'm waiting for a testimonial from him. That would be very interesting. It's a bit cold out here. It's funny, that guy told me, you know, Liam, because we would always argue on Instagram, and he said, you know what, Liam, we disagree about dietary stuff, but you're spot on about ENTs. They're useless. And also you're spot on about this other stuff. He tried balloons in the noses, he tried neck adjustments, he tried acupuncture, he tried different drugs, and nothing worked until he tried my advice. And now his tinnitus is completely gone. So I'm waiting for a video from him. That'd be awesome, dude, if you can still do it. I've been telling people you exist, so if you could go ahead and prove that and prove me right, that'd be great. What else can I talk about? I don't know if you guys can hear me properly because of the wind. Let's see, I hope you've heard what I've been saying. So I think I'll end that video there. I don't think there's anything else I was going to touch on, but John Venus, obviously not a vegan. He had a child and he was not happy with the child being vegan, which I think is totally fair enough. You know, you could eat a piece of meat and you get basically pretty much all of your nutritional requirements, maybe foregoing some B vitamins, DHA. Well, you can probably get trace amounts in steak, but not fully. You can probably go for seafood or something like that. Iodine, you're probably missing iodine from meat, depending on whether the farmer's fed them meat. You could do that for a child, you know, give them some beef or liver. Well, liver you'd be fine, you'd have everything. Or you could have like this perfectly regimented vegan diet with supplements. And I wouldn't do that for my child. If I had a child, I'd be giving him meat. I mean, I wouldn't trust myself to always maintain a perfect regiment, and I wouldn't be happy pumping my kid full of supplements or B12 shots. No way. I'd give him meat. So that's my personal opinion. I think it's correct. I definitely think it's true, but you know, everyone always thinks they're right? I'm not void of that personal flaw. So anyway, like I used to think vegans could never get silenced, and I knew I was right. But then what do you know? Someone has silence, so there you go. Always willing to be proved wrong. Oh, and what I was going to say, that guy said, you'll never post my video on Instagram, Liam, because it goes against everything you've been promoting and blah, 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 and all this sort of stuff. And I said, fuck you, prove me wrong. And he did it. And so I was like, fair enough, okay, let's do it. Let's put it on the Instagram. Been waiting 2 weeks. Been waiting, no, more than 2 weeks now, so still waiting for you to do that, buddy. You know. Anyway, so I'll end this here. I hope you can hear this. And remember to click below for, yep, hello, oh, magpies, fuck. Fuck off. That's it. Alright, so remember to click below for Sean Baker's interview below, and also to see me talk live, you can click below too. Cool.